Welcome back, everybody. It is 8 o'clock on a Tuesday. I'm not really sure. These days just come and go. It's the 18th of March. Maybe. I'm never really sure. But the point I'm trying to make is, welcome, everybody. We're here to do another episode of Latent Space Live. This is like episode 84. We had to correct the numbers because I can't count. It happens to the best of us, I guess. But yeah. I've been so busy tonight. I have no idea what's going on. Anyway, welcome. So glad you could join me. Don't forget, if you're watching live or you're watching later, Discord join link in the description. Get involved. The music we're listening to is on, nearly said the wrong word there, is on Spotify. So you can find all the tunes up there. We're playing off the radio station. You can find us on scuffedepoch.com and various other places. Hello Kirk, hello Dragon Diffusion, hello Epolonia Art, hello Full Dive Media, hello Emily Lamb, hello Fernicar, and hello again Kirk Curtis. Thanks so much, guys, for jumping in. So tonight we're going to take a quick look at LORAs. We're continuing the rebranding from 5 Below 5 into Scuffed Epoch. Everything's going great so far. All I've got to do... Oh, and then we got some more writer's room stuff. Okay. Spoilerific. Just to give you an idea of what that's going to be. We got a bunch of new projects to look at. I need to actually close folder. There we go. Got a bunch of new things to look at. Uno Reverse we made yesterday. We got Audiobook Assembly and FLAC to WAV. I did my first experiment with setting up the narrative... the narration for the audiobook. So I've already done it. I've already processed all the narration. So now what I have to do is work on the script. So we're going to take a quick look at that. But that will be later. We're going to do maybe a little bit of two things at once. You know what I mean? That's what we're going to try. Comfy's obviously not on right now, so we're going to solve that. Like, normally I eat about an hour before the show, but I've literally been back to back all day. The Johnson's been busy, which is good. It's a good thing. But we're back to, there's not enough hours in the day again. You know what I mean? Thanks for all the comments. Really appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much. What's this, Full Dive Media? One of the best time of my day is your live. You're too kind. So what are we going to do? We're going to start comfy. Let's drag that in so we can see what's going on. This is a bit being a little strange. There we go, that's better. Alright, I'm going to dive out the way and we're going to start taking a look at all this good new LORA stuff. Like I said, everyone's been waiting for this. A lot of them are probably just images, but that's okay. So that's my captioner. There's the WAN video. Oh yeah, I did all of these, by the way. All those are done. But I've got a couple of ideas on this front, right? So how about we try out the random mode on the sequential? I hope it doesn't cause a problem, but it should work. Oh yeah, and then what LORAs are we going to load? Because obviously we're going to have to... So I reckon if I move that to there and just do a load LORA native and see how we get on. And then what are they called? We'll try the... Is it microwave? Yeah, no. Wham. No. Have I got to press R? It's not even started yet. I'm getting ahead of myself. You've delegated your dog duties. Yes, you often have to empty your dog. I know, yes. That's always a fun comment. 360. Error. Error. That's like scuffed epoch. The error. Well, while I'm waiting for this to fire up, because it sort of like kills the momentum. Come on, Comfy. You used to be so fast. Let's talk about some other stuff while we're waiting for this thing to... Oh. See, as soon as I threaten it with no attention, it springs into action. Maybe that's all I had to do, is just threaten it slightly. Hey, we're in business. Right, kill that. Get back to the one I was using. Refresh it. Alright. WAN. There we go. Now we got them all, right? This should be interesting. Let's try Cakeify. Now, there's probably a trigger word required for this. So, I am going to go find out. What are we doing? Cakeify. Which one was that? People... Ah, yeah, that's the one that Boyo linked. There's no name on it. Okay, so Cakeify it, yeah? That's what we need to trigger it, apparently. So I got an idea. We'll make this interesting. So I've got a prompt. Don't tell me. Yeah, cool, it's working. Nice. So we're going to go into the B and then use a text box which goes into the A and put the trigger in it with a comma space. And just to make sure that the trigger gets listened to, we'll do string weights as well. Okay, so in and out. Probably have a little rejig as well. Right. Yeah, we'll have a big rejig in a minute. So up we go to there. So that's that. This is the image which is actually being sent. Let's update it so it shows the actual prompt. Like that. We'll figure it out in a minute. So the string weight of that and then the string weight of that. There we go. And I'll put them both to 0.9 for now. Like that. And then we have our image with the caption. It's not ideal. I think I'll put it here instead. Yeah, it's even better. Okay. So then with this, I should be able to just go click and then it will give me a random coffee time with the prompt, but then it's on Cakeify at the moment, right? So then my idea is obviously have more image sets and then change this. Do you know what I mean? With different LORA. Yeah. Oh yeah, I know you have to use that, dudes. No worries. I'm just saying, like, I'm trying to make a modular system so that I don't have to, like, you know, think about it. I like not thinking about it. Put it the other way around, I think. Green. There we go. think that'll work. I probably didn't need to put the comma in though. Yeah, I didn't need to put the comma space in. There we go. Other than that, see, if I put this on ping pong, it would have looked fine, but I didn't. But that's okay. You can just load a video and select ping pong, so it's not a big deal. Spaghetti. Oh my god, I think I missed that. I think I might have missed that Rick and Morty. So I guess let's talk about the next thing. So anyway, yeah, I wonder where the best place to start for this one is, because this is sort of Writers Club adjacent. But we're waiting for the video to load, so the video model hasn't even started rendering yet. So yeah. I think I'm going to do that. All right. Okay. Where is it? Okay. We looked at Uno Reverse yesterday. Does anybody remember what that one was? Anybody remember? Don't worry, I'll tell you. It's my unified narrative operator. It enhances text. Okay. And I've used it to do a bunch of stuff. All right. So obviously Uno Reverse is a prompt. So if I look here, this is Uno Reverse. I have the result, the book that I've written. I have the tool that I use to write it. Okay. It's all been done with the default program. That's it. Just use the default program. We made the story, 5 pages or 6 pages, you know, page 5 to 0. Made that. And then we used the Uno Reverse to process every page. Okay? And it did a great job, guys. It did a great job. The only problem is, well, it's not really a problem. I read the whole book. I've read this whole book, right? Where is it? This one. I've read the whole thing. And I'm going to go through a couple of things later, which are things to look out for, because I found a few tells. Gemini has tells, but you can fix them in the edit very, very easily. And the thing is, when I say fix them in the edit, I mean there were 6 problems. So there was about 1 problem per page. And when you consider that each page is actually a chapter, that's really good. 1 problem per chapter. And we were talking about, he kind of repeated himself for 2 sentences in a row at one point in the chapter. Or he ended a sentence like with a word that would mean to continue. Yeah? Or he would say, say I'm introducing you. I met you. And you stood there with a funny look on your face, wearing these specific clothes. And, you know, and it kind of just keeps going on too much. So what you do is you just pick one of those 3 sentences and delete the other 2 when he does that. Because he's kind of like overdoing it, but it's not as bad as Claude. Gemini was way better at this than Claude. Claude is a show-off. He tries to write the most unimaginably descriptive book ever written, you know, which is funny to watch and even funnier to read, but let's say it's a little bit wordy. So anyway, you've got your story. Now what? Okay. Oh look, we are actually rendering the video now, guys. So cool. I'm choking. So I use something called Narration Parser, which is a new project which I created, I don't know, yesterday, today, I'm not sure. So let me show you. Did you notice the LLM using the same phrases, not repetition, but describing something or an action? Sort of. I'll show you. I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah, let me just show you. Right. Is this even the right story? Yeah, the crystals. This is the memory story, right. Okay, so first thing it does all the time. Yeah? The wind howled around the building, a mournful cry that echoed the turmoil in Morales Singh's heart. He knew Wei was playing a game, a dangerous game of cat and mouse, and he, Morales Singh, was the mouse. He just had to figure out the rules before he was caught in the trap. The thought sent a shiver down his spine. Now, that's fine, yeah, but it's a bit too, like, I would say it's a bit much. I can show you more as well. The rain, a relentless torrent, lashed against the reinforced glass. Each drop a tiny percussion instrument in a symphony of urban despair. Dude, it's too much. Like, there are many ways you can make this better. So, like, each drop... Hang on. There. Each drop a symphony of urban despair. Or maybe you would say each drop a tiny percussion instrument. Right? It's like all of it at once. Hey, look, I know you might like it. Let me just explain why. He already did this on every other page. We're on page 3. He's doing it the same. No, right. Dragon, let me explain, okay? Let me explain. Let me show you. I'll show you the exact same phrase on a different page. Hang on. Where is it? Because look, it's good on its own, but it's not good as a book. Like, each page is great, but it's not cross-referencing pages with Gemini. That was something that Claude could do, but Gemini doesn't do it. So, like, I'm trying to find it. Where's he talking about the rain? Here we go. Light bleeding through. And the metallic, there's a lot of metallic tang. There's a lot of metallic tang, guys. When you read the book, there's a lot of metallic tang. Like, he doesn't say it exactly the same, but he kind of leans on certain phrases a lot. Light bleeds a lot. There's a lot of mirror reflections of the city's artificial glow. It's kind of like said in a different way, which is lazy. So I would go back and I would edit that myself. You know what I mean? It's nothing you can't fix in the edit. And if I'm being real, six things per book is nothing. Let me see if I can get. See the acrid smell of synth blood, sharp and metallic. It's a lot of metallic smells. He kind of leans on the same phrases a lot, which is fine because you could just go through and edit that. Look, here we go. Look at this again. The rain hammered against the grimy brick walls, each drop echoing a confined space. A percussive rhythm that amplified the silence. Okay, it's good, but he kind of already played that trick. You know what I mean? It's kind of like he already... imagine I had some cool joke, right? And you're like, wow, that's a cool joke. Yeah, but you can't do that every time I see you. You see what I mean? And that's what's happening. He's doing a cool trick on every page. It will like metal and math. Yeah, it's true. Look, yeah, so sharp and metallic. What else do we have here? Okay. So, let me see. There's another bit when the boy is talking. Okay. Where is it? I think it might be in here. It's describing a dead body scene, so it needs to be really detailed, you know? But there's a few things that you're just like, what? Like broken glass crunched underfoot, mingling with discarding data pads, their screens cracked and useless, and the remnants of a forgotten meal are half. That's really cool, but here's the problem. You already set the scene. You know, he already set the scene. It's nothing you can't fix. Let's go to page 4. And also, this is the biggest problem. This is the biggest problem, right? So on page 4, so that's the page before the page that I wrote, right? Zhang. They're here. I can feel distortions. Now, I'll be honest, the Chrono Assassin action scene is kind of out of nowhere. It kind of comes out of nowhere, right? If we go to the previous page, to the end of the previous page, some enforcers let them outside. So the setup is that the mob bosses are setting them up. That's what's supposed to be happening. So like, he comes out of the club with meeting the boss, and there's a bit of tension because you think there's gonna be a fight, but then the boss lets them through security, and then as soon as they get outside, boom. There's like Chrono Assassins. Now look, this is completely like Jesus take the wheel writing here. You could call it vibe writing if you wanted, but I'm sure someone will come up with a cool name for it. But the point I'm trying to make is that the Chrono Assassins just kind of come out of nowhere, which is okay. They're assassins, right? The idea is that the Mafia are trying to take these cops out who have got too close to the truth. That's not the problem. The problem is, here, Zhang moved with a speed that defied his injuries. What injuries? What injuries? It says... It doesn't say anyone got hit here. Right? So, like, there's a continuity problem, like, a real fundamental one, like... Obviously, you could add this, okay? It's really not difficult, but I just want to point out, this is the importance. You've got to read it. See, the reason I'm pointing these out, I'm not making fun of the AI made a mistake. Oh, look, it can't do X. That's not it. And I'm not looking at it like, oh, wow, this is a hard problem. No, no, no. I know you know how to solve it. You can just prompt, right? But... this is the importance of reading the draft, because you wouldn't have even known to look for this sort of stuff if you didn't read it. If you just... because this is the thing. We trust our tools, but we do look at the image or video when it's done, right? And in the same way, you've got to look at your book. Now, I've come up with a really cool way to automate it. So you don't... right. Obviously, you can do stuff like read aloud, which is a Google Chrome extension, and you can just save it as a text file and you can just have it read it out. But if you want to go a little bit further than that and taste the production, I'll show you what I'm working on next. So, this is the story that all of you have. Anyone can make this story with my archive. You can put your own story information in, and it'll write your own last page. Off you go. You can write your own stories. We've already covered that. We've been doing it every day for about a week now. Okay, so I'm not going to talk about this part of it. The Uno Reverse. So Uno Reverse is a unified narrative operator. He will take the bare bones of a story and he will upscale them, and he will do contextual assessment, enhancement evaluation with golden shadow resurrection, underdeveloped as elements, environmental expansion, setting an atmosphere, action scene enrichment, if there's any found. If there isn't any, he won't add it. Okay, it's dynamic. Prose smoothing, so flow and rhythm optimization. And then finally, repetition elimination with language variety. So that's metaphors, synonyms, big thesaurus brain, yeah? So he's going to go through each of these phases with an aim of doubling the length of the text without changing anything, though. And that's why you're finding stuff which is the same written several times. So we're going to assume that this has been run as well, all right? And let me show you Memories Westwick. So here we have the story, 5 pages, which we've been looking at. I'm done looking at mistakes now, by the way, because the thing is, I just wanted to cover it to draw attention to the fact that all you got to do is read or listen to your story and edit it a bit. It's like writing a Facebook post. It's less effort, in fact, than writing a Facebook post or X post, whatever. Right, we'll close that. So I obviously have a script. Okay, so we have the exact same story in script format. This is one prompt. It runs in a loop. It iterates through your story pages. And it is giving us every line in this story. I then distilled that into a cast voice guide for synthetic voice design. The prompt for this is also up on the GitHub. So as you can see, we have almost like a casting call sheet for our main character with stuff. So if I'm going to design the voice, I've got some information without having to read the book. I can just go, I need to make these voices for these characters, all these characters, and I need to make all these characters. All right. And then when I take my script, I'm just going to number them, right? So script 0, the first thing that gets said is speech 1, speech 2, speech 3, speech 4, speech 5. I just literally number them because I'll figure out what it, I'll assign the right voice to it. I'll make sure that's the right voice every time. I'll just do it myself. And at the end, you end up with a folder, which is literally speech 1, speech 2, speech 3, speech 4, speech 5, speech 6. Okay. So that means you've got the speech in custom voices. Every line spoken by your designed character voice. So that's the script done. Literally, I'm just going to check it because I'm trying to go through this. Okay. Next, narration. I was talking in the Writers Club last night, and I come up with a way of doing it with Python. So I've released a new repo which does this with Python. And essentially when there's a second script, so I have a narration script which takes the path to the file and then what you want it to be called, and then I've got an eliminator that gets rid of all of these weird, there's loads of weird space, and we need it to be just a line. So this is narration. Okay, so every time the narrator talks, he gets a line. And then whenever it's like, basically you take it in turns. Narration, speech, narration, speech, narration, speech. It's always in the same order. Narration, speech. Okay? It might sound like a mess, all right? But let me show you. So if I come over to my repos over here, I got a couple of secret squirrels as usual. So we've got that one. I'll show you that one. We got that one. I'll show you that one. We got that one. So we've got a couple of tools. Now, remember, when I'm in my VS Code, I've got narration parser in here with the spittoon, right? So it's like you can have multiple things in your project folder, right? Doesn't, So the idea is we're building up a bunch of tools that all work on the same task. So obviously to split the story into narration, I've used narration. The script was built with the prompt. But these go hand in hand because I can make all the audio files I need for the speech and number them so that they'll go in according with these, right? Now, I do think that there was... If I go to the script real quick, here's something else. So, wait, no, it's not this one. It's a different story. Okay, so it might be like there were no lines on that page, so then you don't get them, right? But that's fine. It does extras as well, by the way. All the minor characters, they're all here, right? And those prompts are up, obviously, in the narrative spittoon in the prompts folder if you want to check them out. They're all in there. Now, we've got the narration and we've cleaned it using narration parser. So I literally load the page and then load the narration to clean it up. And the reason we do that is because we can automate it with TTS, which I've done. Do you know what I mean? I want it to be like, we've already done it though, yeah, to speed things up tonight, because I'm literally like, I'm out of time, guys. I am out of time. So it goes like this. Where's my thing? Here we go. Outputs, Kokoro. And then inside memories, which is the name of the book, we've got all the pages. And inside, we've got all the narration, which is in order. Yeah? Do you see where I'm going with it? So essentially, we put these narrators together as like a playlist, right? Now, there's a couple of things that I'm going to do to automate the last step, right? So, essentially, remember, I've done all that to get this to this point. Now, you've got to think, oh, he's already done the speech lines, which I haven't, all right? I haven't done the speech lines yet. Just imagine that I have. All right. So, here's all the narration. So, what is audiobook assembly? Yeah, that's right. That's right. You know what I've done. It wasn't enough, was it? It wasn't enough to just use Comfy. No. So, here's the proposal. What we do is we create the audio and the speech. And then you have two sets of numbered files. You have all of the narration, which is numbered, and you have all the speech, which is numbered. It's in sequence, guys. It goes narration, speech, narration, speech, narration, speech. So how do we break that up? Well, we break it up with the quotes, of course. I was talking about this in the Writers Club last night. So, like, whenever you have a piece of text, it's going to detect the quotes, right? So, if I just open up a typical... We got loads, you know what I mean? We got loads of story. Here, look, here's story, right? If I go like this... Right, watch what happens, yeah? So we're going to keep going until we find speech. Stop. So that would be narration 1. And this would be speech 1. And it's spoken by Morales. We know it is, and the script can identify that. So it'll be marked as Morales. So I'll record that line as his voice. He'll say anything. That's narration 1, speech 1. So now, narration 2 goes from this speech mark to this speech mark, right? So then this is narration 2. You see? But it does keep new lines. So the fact that there's a new line means that there'll actually be narration, then narration, actually. Which is something that I'm having to adjust for. But the point I'm making is that it's always narration first, speech second. And then, so then we have the line for this character, Zat Jang. And then it goes back to narration again. And it just takes it in turns, yeah? Takes it in turns, and it depends on the quote. That's what the code looks for. So I can do that with Python. We don't need to spend token costs on that. Yeah? So obviously narration is going to go for the page. It's going to look for the quote. It's going to turn it into the thing. And then we end up with narration. And as I said, I'd run the other script to eliminate all of the extra spaces. That's all it does is delete empty lines. That's it. And then what you end up with is you end up with narration in a prompt list format. Which means we can go into Comfy. See, all that nonsense so that we could do this. You see here, narration find cleaned.txt, yeah? Narration 5 cleaned.txt, there it is. Okay. Obviously, I'll put that to seed 0. Okay. You got to put it to seed 0 every time you do this, otherwise it's going to get a bit weird and out of... You know, because you want it to be in order, don't you? Right? Okay. You want the list to start from 0, yeah? Anyway. So I'm still building this, but I think you can see the idea is you have name of book, name of page, load page converted into narration. So there's no speech, and it's going line by line segments, okay? And so then you end up with this.
The driver announced, neural lights pulsing impatiently along the vehicle's frame, a digital summons.
That was cool. And yeah, then the idea is to put it all together in such a way that, because, you know, we could have an incremental loader and then patch it in on the fly. So it literally goes narrator speech by loading it in each time and assembling it. So then you have narrator speech, narrator speech, narrator speech. But the funny thing is, what broke my system was the fact that there's actually a lot of no talking. There's a lot of no talking, actually. And so marrying up the script, because look, page 0, this is all the lines they have. The last page, that's the only line it has. So it's not like taking turns. It's very heavy on narration. So, yeah. But I hope you can see where that's going. These, by the way, these things I'm showing you, they're still work in progress. They're not actually finished, but they work. But I'm not happy with them, yeah? So, this one's out. Narration parser works and is finished. But it does narration parsing, like I say, and then it does empty line elimination. The idea is, once you've done that, you can just throw it into your text-to-speech with a custom voice. So obviously I made a custom voice. Narrator Westwick 1. Slowed it down a bit and fed it my lines. So obviously if I went back to page 0 and just went 0 demo, and I just, now remember, how many do we have? On 0 we have 11 lines, so that means we can queue it for 11 times. I'll show you. This is the point where I cooked Hunyan because we just it's fine, because it's going to unload Hunyan now, right? Anyway, so yeah, 28 seconds, 3 seconds, 6 seconds. It's just going through the whole thing now. Look, 6, what's it, 9, 4. Look how quick it is. It's crazy. 5. Somebody told me there's a 2-minute limit. But like, I've never had a piece of text that was a continuous single line that was not broken up by speech or whatever. You know, I've never had one, you know, where you talk like, you know what I mean? How much do you have to say? It's like 150 words a minute, right? So maybe a bit slower than that. To speak for 2 minutes, that's like 300 words. That's like saying the entire page in one go. So this is why I use my system, okay? And you don't, by the way, if you don't want to do voices and you just want to just read out the book, please. This works. You can just put the book in. You don't have to mess about like with all the other stuff. You can just take the page, put it in my prompts folder in DJZ Nodes, refresh, and use Zenkai Prompt V5. Start at 0, so that'll be the first line, and it'll go line by line through the page. Once you're done, you'll have a folder full of FLAC files, right? Now, I know, I could just convert FLAC to WAV any other number of ways, but I like having it all in one place, because that means you can have the script include, you know, you could have the script build this in. So you could download all 3 repos and then have a script that does it all, yeah? The idea is to turn the FLACs that you've generated into WAV, right? It's not important. Like I say, that one is on private because I haven't finished it yet. But I think you can see, you know, it will take a folder path and convert them all to WAV. That's what it does, right? Just decompress them, please. And what's the other thing? Oh yeah. And then, like I said, the last piece of the puzzle is audiobook assembly tool. Now, obviously, if you're not doing custom voices for every character, which is my goal, then you don't need to assemble narration and speech. You can just have speech files in order, right? So, as I say, when you use this workflow, it's just going to go through each line by line by line by line. It's I don't think you're ever going to get a single line that is more than, it's a ridiculously long sentence. Do you know what I mean? So a 2-minute limit doesn't matter is what I'm trying to say. Look, this is a minute.
Morale Singh knelt beside the body, the rain plastering his trench coat to his back. The data runner lay sprawled on the grimy pavement, his face a mask of frozen terror. The metallic tang of blood, sharp and acrid, filled the air, mingling with the scent of rain and decay. A jagged tear marred his data port, the exposed circuitry glinting in the dim light, a stark contrast to the pallor of his skin. A crimson stain bloomed across his chest, the lifeblood mingling with the relentless rain, painting the pavement a gruesome mosaic. Morale Singh's gaze lingered on the body, cataloguing the details, the signs of a professional hit. The distant wail of a siren cut through the rain, a mournful cry in the desolate landscape. He knew this was just the beginning. The syndicate wouldn't stop. They never would. The wind howled through the narrow alley, carrying with it the distant rumble of traffic and the faint, rhythmic thrum of the Noodle Bar's ventilation system.
I would also point out I'm blending British with Spanish. So that's why it sounded a bit weird. I was doing an experiment with the voice. I wanted to make him sound mustachioed. Yeah? So I thought, Spanish man. Oh, la la ho. And I think I got, yeah. It was pretty cool. It does some weird pronunciation though. It needs the text highlight. Yeah. There is actually, like I said, there might, again, when you want to get the best results, there's side quests. Like, for example, the formatting of the text you're putting into the text-to-speech. This is extra work. I know what it is, but sometimes I don't talk about it because it's kind of like, that's going deeper. You can always go deeper, and there's even more. I'm trying to kind of give you an overview of this project, you know, which is really difficult because there's so many different moving parts. But so audiobook assembly is really very, very simple. You give it a file containing narration files and speech files, and then it combines them into one file, okay? But this is still work in progress. I think I could probably do better because at the moment you have to have named it O1. So it's like a data set, you know? O1 narration goes with O1 speech, O2 narration goes with O2 speech, and so it puts it all together for you automatically. But it requires you to have named it right in the first place. So it's still not perfect, okay? I want it to be easier to use, you know what I mean? You know, essentially all we're doing is trying to assemble all of the narration and all of the lines, but they have to be in the right order, otherwise you're going to make a right pig's ear of it, you know? Okay, so these are my major projects over the last couple of days. Obviously you've already seen the other stuff that's already out, but these are coming. So FLAC to WAV converter, I just like to have a tool in the tool, because why not? It's like an extra step to go and do something. Like, I could have just dropped them in Audacity and resaved them all. But, you know, I try to say, well, can we just have a script in the folder and just do it ourselves? So this is partly why I do this sort of stuff. Can we prove it? You know? Everything's working so far. And like I said, if I showed you, so I've got the narration, but this is narration minus script. So that means in order to finish this, I've still got to go back and do, where's the other one gone? Is it gone? I killed it. So I've actually got to go back and do all of the manual speech, you know what I mean? But it made me think though. I was thinking to myself, well, hang on a minute. You're text-to-speech narrator, text-to-speech voices, you know? Really what I want is speech-to-speech. We still haven't got that. I think speech-to-speech is better than text-to-speech. It's still AI. You're still shaping the voices, but you have a human voice actor. So all of this stuff with the inflections and the emotional, all of that stuff works, you know? Because it's a person saying it. And then you just transform the voice. I always thought that worked better, but for whatever reason, they're hard to find. We got so many choices when it comes to text-to-speech, but it's just not the case with speech-to-speech. I don't know why that is. So let's see, did it work? That didn't work. That didn't work. That didn't work at all. Cakeify it 1. Turn the rest of the prompt down a bit, maybe. I mean, the animation's not bad, but oof. Oh, that's the original, that is. All right, well, random is working now, which is good. Because I don't know if you knew, but the previous way we were doing the randomize without sequential, you couldn't do that for files in a folder because you'd be like, well, there ain't 2 million images in here. So one thing this does when it's on randomize is it loops. So there might only be 100 files, but it'll loop that 100 around for forever. And so then you can have randomize. All right, so we'll let that carry on doing its thing. Helldivers, don't know where that's at. I was probably just clicking on things. Yes, clicking on things. Ah, yes, Kojima. Right. So yeah, we were trying to get the Cakeify effect to work. I saw all of you guys used it. I'm guessing that it's because my prompt is diluting the trigger. And I just need to drop the prompt. That's probably all I need to do. None of them will, because you did not use the structured prompt that the author recommends. There it is. The trigger worked. It is. Cakeify it. Because the thing is, mate, I can only judge a LORA based on the instructions that I'm given from the author. Anything else is the skill of someone else, right? So if I use this, so this is actually the prompt. This is actually the prompt. The trigger isn't enough, so I did that for a reason. No. Okay. I have trained over 1,000 LORAs for videos and images. I'm just going to tell you now, if you have to do this, that's a dataset problem. But I'll let him off because he's so new, because it's a new thing. You know what I mean? I'll let him off because it's, you know what I mean? It's a new thing, right? This is why it works like this, because it's been overtrained to do one thing and you have to use their prompt. It's fine. It's actually fine. I just needed to make sure, because a well-trained LORA would be able to do anything, no matter what you type. And then it's actually, so this isn't really a trigger word. I think actually that is a trigger word, and the rest is just not really. That is the trigger word. But because of how it's trained, you basically have to use the exact same prompt that the author used. So what we'll do is we'll disconnect. Wait. We'll disconnect that. And then I will just the video opens up on a woman. Over the woman. Into the woman to C4K3 cakeify it. Oh dear. Woman. Look, bless him for doing it, because you know we're getting to benefit from his hard work. So don't get me twisted here, but I have to do my diligence when I'm evaluating stuff, and I'm sure other people should. Well, I hope other people do the same. You know, see, I've made LORAs where I overtrain it so that if you use this exact prompt, you will get that exact output, right? But it's quite an old way of doing it. Let's put it that way. I wouldn't be surprised. I wonder how many examples he gave it so that it could apply it to anything. That's what I want to know. What I would like to know is how many examples were given. 1, 2, 3. So he's used this structure to caption every example of this and then put a different word to describe the different thing. It's a pretty simple concept. I like it. I'm actually going to ditch the next video because I know it won't work. And then we'll do another one. I don't know how it's going to cut her in half, but we'll let it try, right? So, video opens on a woman. A knife held by a hand is coming into frame, hovering over the woman. Okay. Right. And of course, that's going to take up all my GPU now. Grrr. Well, I think what I'll do, because if that's the case, then they're not really style models. It's a motion model which accepts an image input. Yeah, that's pretty cool though. Yeah, it just means the trigger word isn't really the trigger word. I've mentioned this before when we were training LORAs for Flux and SDXL. It's possible to train phrases. Okay, a lot of people don't know that. Still, it's not necessarily the words, but the relationships between the words. Makes sense when you think about it. Let me show you what I mean. So video opens on a, that's a phrase. Video opens on X or on AX, that's a phrase. Okay. Hovering over the object, hovering over X, that's another phrase. So you only have to teach a few examples of a thing for it to be able to estimate the thing with other objects that it knows. So then the knife then begins cutting into. So cutting into objects. Obviously we know it's a knife. So it, you know, it's like understanding. What's interesting to me though is that you have to say thing. That's like you know, saying woman. Like what would happen if you prompted woman in an image prompt 6 times? You'd get the most womanly woman that ever womaned, wouldn't you? So it is interesting. It is interesting. But that's not quite what I was looking for. I think the spinning one might be worth having a look at as well. But that won't be tonight. No. We're going to make sure we get the result of this, because I want to see it at least work. If it doesn't work, I'll be annoyed, but never mind. So yeah, as I say, pages straight into the text-to-speech. Build your own text-to-speech voice for your narrator, and you can process it in Comfy using this. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to copy that. Can we... Whoa! No, we can't. We can't do that. All right. Let's do it one piece at a time then. Copy-paste works? I can't believe it. Sometimes I wonder if maybe I like fill up a cache somewhere and it just... Ah, you copy-pasted too much. No more. You can't do it no more. Okay, so this is going to be Cockroach TTS narrator. Oh my god, what happened to the text? Cockroach TTS narrator. And... narrator. Alright. And it's like, you know, load your own voice, do your own thing. See, yeah, we should probably also release this too, because I've added more stuff. So you got save custom voices for the slurping, and then you got V4, which is, that's showing how you can, you know, use your custom voice, load it. And then the blending of custom voices, which is something we talked about. I haven't made it so you can save them yet. That completes the loop. It's basically infinite voice shapes, but you actually get to keep, it's a hard file. So Kokoro voice file. This is all stuff I've added to the project. So we'll put these two workflows up as well. Yeah, I think I've already saved that actually. Yeah, I've saved that. So I'll just save this as well. I'm going to commit for Kokoro. Isn't that crazy? Example workflow. Upload. Put that there. Like that. So there you go. So what I'm saying is, if you have your Kokoro TTS and your Comfy, the custom voices are kept in this folder here, right? So you can keep all your files. You can work on blends. There's other nodes for doing that. Save the voice, load the voice into the new loader, and then, like you say, you got that reliable voice. And then what I would do is I'd put the pages for your book, put the pages into my prompt folder in DJZ nodes. So how do you train Kokoro? You don't. That's the magic of what I've done here. I didn't train it. This is the funny thing. Let me show you. Because I've obviously skipped a bit here. All right. That's obviously my bad. Did we update? Did we update? I just need to check it's actually updated. Yeah, it's good. So let me just explain what I've done. It's all explained in the README, by the way, on the Kokoro TTS page. So let me take you through. So there are other Kokoro TTS Comfy nodes, all right? But they don't do like what mine do, because they just made a wrapper for the functions. They didn't actually add anything to it, okay? So like, and there's nothing wrong with that. Again, I'm never throwing shade here. I'm just telling the facts. It goes like this. You got text-to-speech, which is text-to-speech. It comes with a bunch of voices. They're built in. Lots of different languages. You already know about that. It also came with a blending example which used weighted sum. That's the same technique that we use to merge AI models, guys. So I'm a bit familiar with the math on that front, right? And I don't know if you remember, I made aesthetic gradients with Slurp, okay? So I'm very familiar with spherical linear interpolation for blending. So what did I do? Obviously, I forked the code and I wrote a Slurp function. Now, what the hell am I talking about, all right? Let me just step back. The V2, which is their default blending, when you blend voices, it's done at 50-50, yeah? It's 50-50. You can't change it. You only get speed. So you can take any of the default voices and any of the default voices and you can blend them and it makes you a straight 50-50. And that's fine, but spherical linear interpolation is better. Now we have 10 positions from 0 to 1 because it uses a slurp function to blend the voices this time. And this worked so well. So essentially, you've gone from 50 times 50 voices, which is 1,500. You've times that by 10 now, look. So there's 10 voices where there was 1. So that means 10x. So now you've got 15,000 voices. Now, obviously, I wasn't happy with that. We made it 150,000. But the point I'm trying to make is, by having this, basically you just give it an extra digit. So then you've got like from 0 to 100. So there's 100 blends of every voice with my system, right? Now, when we come to the save system, as you can see, we've got the extra digit. So that's 100 voices for every combination of voice. That's how we get to 150,000. Okay. So obviously, you save your, so you practice your slurp, you tune it, you know, right down to the whatever number you wanted it to be, 69, whatever, right? And then what happens is you save it to custom voices as a .kkv file. Because remember, it's just a numpy shape, right? It's just a numpy shape, right? Like what is a numpy shape? It's just a table of numbers. All of these voices are just tables of numbers. So what I've done is I've saved it as an NPY, which is renamed KKV, so you know it's a Kokoro voice file. Yeah, that's all that's going on there. Okay. So I haven't really fine-tuned anything. All I've done is I've figured out that the voices are just a numpy shape. When you blend them, they're just a numpy shape. So that means that if I blend them how I'm with my formula, it makes a numpy shape. And so then we can load that numpy shape into a special V4 which doesn't have a list. You know, you don't need a list because you've got external files now. So you can just say, oh, I want to pick Gary. And now, you know, now it's Gary, right? And of course, I wasn't happy with that, so I thought we can go even further, and now we can go infinity because this is custom voices blended with custom voices using the slurp with 100. It's infinite by that point. It's infinite. It's infinite. You can't count it because you can make. There's 150,000 times 150,000. Put it that way. It's not infinite, really, is it? Okay, you can put a number on it. But it's a big number. Times 150,000. Okay, so there's... Alright. It's not infinite. It's just 22.5 billion. Okay? But from me, as a human with a short lifespan, I think it's enough. You know... and the thing is that I believe you can actually train... I've not done it, so just to directly answer the question, I believe there may be a way to train it. Let me just go over there for you and find out. Because that's what you actually asked. Wait. Open weight TTS model. 82 billion parameters. Training details. It was trained exclusively on permissive non-copyright audio. Examples include public domain audio, dataset, a few hundred hours. $1,000 for 1,000 hours of A100. That's how much. Okay. Architected by, trained by. Does it take... Under the hood... Kokoro uses Misaki, a G2P library. Here we go. Releases. V1. V19. Looks like he'd actually made the dataset smaller. 0.19. I think there's a new one out, though. I think I've got version 2. I don't know. It's very confusing. But by the looks of this, it looks like you could train your own Kokoro. I mean, £1,000 is cheap in these days. Cheap for training. I'm not saying everyone's got £1,000. I'm saying you're trying to train an AI model, like. Yeah. Yes. Yes. What's that saying? Dragon diffusion? Once worked out that it would take a person 380 billion years to go through all the seeds and samplers with the same prompt. Yes, it's the same thing, yeah. You get to a point where it's like, it's as good as infinite. Like, if I sat there and just tried to look at different ones for the rest of my life, I wouldn't get halfway through it. So that's as good as infinite, in my opinion. You know what I mean? It's like infinite on my scale of time. Not on the planet's scale of time. Just me. Because how much time do you have? You know? Right. Time is finite, interests are infinite. And that's a trap. Okay. So we've updated this now. That was fun. Did we get a video? Big reveal? Oh! Oh! Do you know what? That's actually funny that it still did it in cartoon. Do you know what I mean? It still did it in cartoon. Dragon says he measures time in 2 ways: dog lifting his leg or the negative turn of the Milky Way. Click on the list of fine tunes. It says 13 fine tunes. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? What did I do with it? Does anybody remember? Did I close it? Yes. This one. Fine tunes, 13 models. Let's have a look. Audio to audio. Ooh. That's what I've been looking for. Unless he's just, you know, well, yeah, maybe it is. Let's have a look at this. A newer version is available. README exists. Yeah. Oh, it's just a README. There's nothing here. Oh. Yeah, fine-tuned, but not public, so we don't know. I mean, I would assume it means you can just fine-tune this. I'm assuming you can just fine-tune this if you want. I must admit, I've not fine-tuned an audio model like. Well, actually, that's a lie. I fine-tuned. What's it called? Well, it's called. Well, it's no, it's not. It wasn't called Refusion. What was it called? It was Stability's first audio like music generator. I've forgotten what. Music Gen? No, that's Google. There's so many of them, I can't remember. I'd have to look it up. It's on my portfolio. I don't remember. It's on my portfolio. I tried using a sword in Cakeify and it does not like it. Yeah, too true. But yeah, so like I said, I just wanted to point out, if you don't want to do the custom voices, see, I wanted to show you how to do the custom voices, but then also say, if you think that's too much work, or if you'd like to build up to that, just make yourself a sick voice, and I'll give you a tip. Look, I'll give you a tip. Check this out. If we go to V3 real quick. So, say you want a female voice, which is, right, Nicole is ASMR, and Sky is Miss Johansson. So if we put this on like that, okay, not 11, just one, please. Oh yeah, that means that the video's ready, right? Let's have a look at it. Oh, I didn't make another one. Yeah, okay, it's fine. It's fine. We're almost out of time. I've been on like super power. I've been powering through tonight because we're like, yeah. I'm juggling things. It won't be like this forever though. You all know what it's like. Sometimes it's busy, sometimes it's not. That's the way it goes.
The quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dog.
Could you hear that? Listen to that. Listen to that. I'll turn the microphone around. Listen to this.
The quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dog.
Ha! I'm not being funny, mate. That's clean. Okay? So what I'm saying is that's just a 50-50 Sky Nicole, right? That's all that is. So if I wanted to save that, I'll just take you through the process real quick. It's real simple. So we're going to do Nicole, and we're going to do Sky. So we just repeat the same formula, okay? And then, what was it? 0.5, right? Okay, and I'm going to change this one to narrator Westwick 2, right? Now, if I do that, okay, now check this out, right? So again, I'm going to turn the mics around again. Let's turn the music off as well so you can really hear this. Because it's literally speakers to microphones right now. It's not the best. But it'll do the job, all right? So this is Nicole and Sky on Slurp at 0.5. Of course, that just saved it. I knew that. Got to put that on and then actually load it up. Where is it? Westwick 2. There we go. All right, cool. In fact, let's just turn off the save for now because, now we're just working on the actual loader, TTS, preview. Okay.
The quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dog.
Okay. Now, if I want it to be more ASMR, yeah, then what I would do is I would take it more in the direction of Nicole. So, here. Like so. if I go more in the direction of Nicole, let's go 0.45. So it's very slight, but you will notice it. Okay. So save that one. Now, obviously, I could mess around with different nodes, right? But I'm just wanting to show you this. Okay, so I don't mind making a whole bunch of different ones. Like that. They're not large, they're tiny. The file sizes are tiny, okay? All right. So, again, this is what it sounds like at 50/50.
The quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dog.
Okay, press R whenever you create new ones and they will appear in the list. Because you do have to refresh drop-down menus in Comfy. That's just a Comfy thing. So this is going to be slightly more Nicole, okay?
The quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dog.
Okay, and now I'll take it to, you know, just that much more in the other direction. So away from the ASMR voice.
The quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dog.
You see how one sounded like Johansson, the other one sounded like breathy. And so even with like 0.5 on the slurp, you can hear the difference if you're listening. Look, it might be, do you know what? Let's do something here. Let's do, I have to be clever about it. So, okay, we go like this, 3. So this is 0.45. If I download that, and then we go to the Writers Club, and if I just say this thing is 0.45 slurp, and then we go to the second one, which is the 0.5.
The quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dog.
Okay, put that one in. This is 0.5. And then the last one is 0.55, because I did -5 and plus point. You saw me do it. -0.5 plus 0.5, but like actually nightmare. Just try to describe that one with a pint of beer in your belly. All right. So there we go. If I scroll down, so now we have 0.45 slurp, 0.5 and 0.55, and this is A equals Nicole, B equals Sky. Slurp, obviously. So you can, like, there's such a, it's almost, you know, you have to really listen to hear the difference.
The quick brown fox. The quick brown fox. The quick brown fox.
It's there. Trust me, it's there. But anyway, that was one of the main things I wanted to look at, really, was the creation of the voices. That's why we put this new workflow up, because it's like showing you how to make all your custom voices. But here's the thing. If I have this set up like this, right, and I literally just get the pages, so got to go into my tool, find one of the there's Uno Reverse, go into Memories Westwick, just get the story, page 0, because everything I've been doing is advanced, because we're trying to pull out the voices. That's a programmatic challenge, whereas just doing this line by line shouldn't be a problem. Although I will say, though, some of those lines are quite long, aren't they? Eh? Look at that. So maybe what I should do is make a new mode that breaks the sentences up, perhaps? I don't know. But yeah, like I say, if I take this page 0 and then I go over to my Comfy UI and I go to Comfy and custom nodes, prompts, paste it in there, back to the workflow, press R, and then I could say page 0, right? So seed 0, increment, right? Sequential, we'll say page 0 book, so it's not like, you know, what I was doing before. And then we'll maybe have yeah, we'll go with that one. A little bit more ASMR and see what happens. It's already blended, but Kokoro, page 0 book, memories. I'm going to say memories AB actually, so it's like, yeah, because it is the same book, but I'm not trying to split the script up. Anyway, so, oh, and then of course, how many lines is there, right? So what I was doing is I was opening it up in a VS, and then I was having a look at it. So that's page 0. There's page 0. So there's some gaps, which I might have to process out, but essentially, is that 9 lines? Yeah. Maybe I'll hit that problem everyone else was having. Let's see. Go. Because some of those lines were very long. I wonder if I can hit the 2-minute limit this time. No, 38 seconds. There's a big one here. What's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So number 6, 22. Is that one maybe? 5. Another short one. This is the big, yeah, that's this one. There's 2 chunky paragraphs in there. I wonder if they'll get close to 2 minutes. I don't think they will, though. Word count mismatch, 400%. It was only 24 seconds. No, it was 1 minute 10. 1 minute 10. I saw it. But it only took 24 seconds to do it. So 24 seconds to do 1 minute 10 of audio. It's pretty good. Is he? I think he's finished. Okay, and then obviously once it's done, we're just going to go da-da-da-da. And again, if you don't like it, you can just do it again until you like it. It doesn't sound the same every time as far as I'm aware. I might be wrong.
The calm crackled to life, the static barely audible above the relentless rain.
Interesting.
Old downtown, alley behind the noodle bar, the usual. Old downtown, alley behind...
She's repeating herself. Okay, so yeah, make sure you edit it before you do this, because all the mistakes are going to come out as well. You know what I mean? What, do you want to edit out the audio?
What was he carrying? Morale Singh asked, his voice flat. What was he carrying? Morale Singh asked, his voice flat.
Oh.
What was he carrying?
Do you know what it actually is?
Morale Singh asked,
it's not repeating
his voice
it.
flat.
It's VLC.
What?
It's VLC.
Memory crystals.
So what I actually have to do is go
the
like
calm
this,
crackled to life.
and like this,
the
and then that's the
static
page.
barely audible above
And
the relentless
take the repeat
rain.
off.
Morale Singh slammed his old downtown.
Morale Singh. Do you know, that's the other thing I thought when I was doing the audio stuff last night. I realised they'll never say your character's right. Another reason why we need audio to speech. Like making my own voices, awesome, but we need to voice act them. You know, we need to voice act them. I love doing text to speech, but I think that for a main character, the text to speech is just not very good at controlling emotion and stuff like that. So, you know, I find myself wanting to do it myself with a voice actor, or, you know, just grab a microphone and process it with a model. Like RVC allows you to do that, you know. This is how they made the celebrities singing and stuff. They weren't typing in words. It was someone else singing, and then they turned that into the target voice. Yeah. So that's what I'm still looking for. And also, just to point that out as well, you can use traditional text to speech and then pipe that into speech to speech, and it's still better. I know it sounds like going around in circles, but it does work. Right. It does work. So yeah, we've given this one away. So this actually will allow you, if you've written your books like I'm writing my books, or even if you're writing them yourself, this will process each new line as a TTS. So you can literally just, and it'll do it in order. So as long as you set that to 0 when you start, and then just leave it on instant, it'll just keep going until it runs out of text. And there you go. There's your audiobook, you know. I mean, look, it's not the best thing in the world, but I predict these things get better over time. So at the moment, you can make your own audiobook, but if I'm being honest, you probably won't be happy with some of the intonation and pronunciation. But yeah, we've talked about that at length, so I don't want to go over and over and over and over and over and over. But yeah, that's where we're at, and I think things are only going to get better. So this is why building these systems out and having processes in place is important, because when the next TTS comes along, you can just slap it down in place. Really, this is what's doing the business. It's turning your sequential list into, you know, your story into a sequential prompt list, which can then be, you know, efficiently turned into audio. Right. Okay. That is your time. I have to escape because I've got more work to do. But thank you so much for coming along tonight. I really appreciate the time I have with you guys, because you never know. You don't know. Nobody knows what the huge future holds, do they? We're going to keep doing this for as long as we can. I'm going to be back tomorrow, 7 o'clock. If you guys are around, I'll see you then. It's been an interesting evening. Let me just check the comments. I would have done more WAN video, but it's so slow. And so I like to jump into more interesting things. But yeah, that's pretty much where we are at. So, never saying the character's name is a problem. Yeah, exactly. Thank you so much, guys. Really appreciate it. And I'm looking forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. So, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.